Welcome back, nerds and nerdettes. We're going to get into some Marvel Rivals. I'm going to teach you how to play every character in the game on abilities, tips and tricks, advanced tips and tricks, and some combinations that will get you through the ranked ladder and help your team win. Let's snap into it. In this video, we're going to be going over the Sorcerer Supreme himself, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a true tank. He's not diving back lines. He's staying on the front line to mid line, putting his shield up, protecting you. He can output damage. He's a very good tank, especially for late game rank ups. You're going to want a Strange or a Magneto and a Strange, some kind of combination like that. In most of your games, you're going to see this. So I'm going to teach you how to counter other players playing Strange. We're going to go over his abilities, some tips, some tricks, help you understand his kit and how to maximize his full potential on the field. Let's start with his abilities. So his dagger's a Danak. It's his primary attack. He shoots 5 projectiles out, basically the 5 daggers. It does 18 damage per dagger. It's about a 1-second cast time between shots, but there is damage fall off. So anything out to 10 meters will take 100% damage. Anything from 10 to 20, which is its max range, it will decrease to 62.5% of their damage. This is not critical strike, so you're going to want to aim to center mass to try to hit as many daggers as you can to maximize your damage, 1, and 2 to build your dark magic, so we can talk about how to release that and get maximum damage out later. So one thing I do want to add to the video, and I did not talk about it, so I'm going to add this in. It's going to be kind of chopped up, unfortunately, sorry. But when you shoot, you do your shield shoot, and you reload, it takes a few extra seconds on that animation. So what you want to do is when you shoot and you reload, as soon as you see the 8 pop up, you can do a melee attack and cancel part of that animation so it reloads faster. Another way to cancel it is to pull out your shield. So you shoot 2 targets, you reload. As soon as you see that 8 pop up, pop your shield to cancel the last half of that animation. I did change a lot of my crosshairs too. I know someone asked in a video, but my melee attacks, anything with a long distance range, you'll see I've changed them a little bit based off of each individual character. So you'll see how the red marks where Doctor Strange hits. His targets will always be within that area. Hopefully that helps out. We'll get back to the video. His secondary, which is his Shield of Seraphan, it's a massive shield that has 800 HP. If the shield is fully destroyed, like we talked about in Captain America's video, once it's destroyed, it's a 3-second recovery time for the shield to be fully HP to be used again. It does heal 80 HP per second when the shield is not up or being used. It's a 1-second recovery time. So what you'll normally see is someone will put the shield up, drop it, throw daggers, put the shield up, drop it, throw daggers. This will maximize shield time up and damage output. The only issue with this is, as the shield's taking damage, if it's not out for over a second, it's not going to get any HP. So a lot of people who spam this ability, go back and forth, never recover HP on your shield. Make sure if there's a chance where you're not being attacked, where your shield's down, to keep it down. Don't hold it out for a long period of time because you want that HP to regen so you can continue to use it longer. A Doctor Strange without a shield isn't as effective, so obviously you want to keep the max HP as much as possible when you can. Now we talked about the dark energy that builds up. It's Maelstrom of Madness. You'll see on the screen, there's a little indicator. It's a percentage. So every time you hit with your daggers, hit targets, the more daggers, the more targets you hit, it builds up your dark energy. Once this dark energy gets all the way up to 100, you have an anti-heal status on you, meaning healers can't heal you no matter how much you yell on the screen and type need heals. If your Maelstrom is 100, you cannot be healed. You're going to want to release this. Now, this does do damage. It's actually one of his highest damage outputs because it does an area of effect and it does 1.3 damage per point in your darkness. So your dark magic builds up. If it's 100%, you release it, you're going to do 130 damage if it's at 100%. So you're going to want to release this inside of multiple players, or when you do your ultimate, it's a great opportunity to hit them because we'll go over that later, how that works. It's an 8-second cooldown, so every 8 seconds you can release the madness. It's about an 8-meter spherical radius, so it goes 8 meters around you from where you're standing. Now there is damage fall off on this now since the new update, so anything outside of 8 meters has a damage fall off. So the further out after 5 meters, basically you want to be as close as you can. You're going to start to see that damage reduction. Now one thing Doctor Strange does have, he has a Cloak of Levitation. It's an instant cast. It lasts for 6 seconds. It's a 15-second cooldown, but it tosses Strange up in the air 8 meters, which is great if an Iron Man or a Hela's ulting. You use your levitation, you pull out your shield, shield and you sit right in front of them and you let your shield suck up all that damage. This way your team's not taking that damage. It's a great opportunity for Strange to help his team as a tank. Those blocked abilities will take a lot of damage away from your team. Your healers don't have to do as much work, and you're up in the air, so you're not getting fully attacked by a lot of characters with your shield up. It's a massive tool to utilize and get used to doing. So when you hear Wanda start to yell, you want to put your shield up in front of your team. When you hear Iron Man or Heller start to yell or do their abilities, you want to jump up with them and get right in front of them to try to block as much damage as you can with your shield. Another useful tip with this, if you're fighting another Strange, you can jump and levitate over them. You can cancel it by hitting your levitation again. We'll get into his ultimate later, but what you want to do is you want to get right up in the Strange's face. You're going to want to levitate, hit your ult, turn levitate off as you pass Strange so his shield can't block it, and you can use your ult behind him. That's a great way to counter other Strange characters that are trying to block your ultimate. And we're going to talk about that in a few moments here, but let's get into one of his other abilities first. The Pentagram of Farahal. It basically is a portal. You can use it in multiple ways. I could go a whole video on how to use this. You can use it on the ground so they can jump in. You can put the portal further away, which will shoot them out at a further distance so they can cover mass areas. You can block if there's a Strange on their team. You can put your portal facing off a cliff, throw the portal facing them. A lot of the times they'll jump through the portal thinking it's their portal and they jump off a cliff. It doesn't happen in the later rounds, but you see that early. A couple times it will happen. Or you can put your portal in front of the other Strange's portal and flip it so they can't use his portal. You can use it to block off gateways or doorways. So there are a lot of opportunities for his portal to be used in a unique way. We're not going to go too far into it. Just know it opens up a portal. Your team can go through. Their team can go through. You can shoot through it. They can shoot through it. It's basically an interchange of dimension between points. Now, this does have a 180-second cooldown. If you use this early in the game, sometimes I'll pop it right when I get out of base to see what their team comp is, what they have. I'll put the portal far away. I'll call out targets. We can get behind them if I want to pop it. Sometimes I just break the portal and we just push out of spawn. You can use this to get behind characters, shoot up or down, use it for Punisher. If he sets up his turret, you can put the turret, shoot the turret at an angle where he's shooting straight, but the enemy has to shoot at a weird angle to get to him. There's a lot of really, really unique ways to do this. Getting on point at the end of a game, you can pop it. Your whole team can get on point, especially if you're contesting in an overtime or something like that. So utilize his portal as much as you can, but don't waste it because it's a 3-minute cooldown, and if you pop it even on accident and cancel it, it goes into cooldown. So don't make the mistake of hitting the wrong button. I changed my keybind for my portal. This way it's not something I hit regularly. When I need to use it, I have to reach and hit the button to use it, so I'm not clicking on accident. Now let's talk about his ultimate, the Eye of Agamotto. You'll hear him yell it. He'll start to float a little bit, and it does a 10-meter spherical radius, so 10 meters around Strange. It casts out a blast. It does 60 damage, and it lasts for 3 seconds. But what this does is it separates their physical body from their soul. So kind of like you saw in the movies, there'll be 2 characters. There'll be the primary and the green one, which is their soul. Both take damage. So if you have your Maelstrom of Madness high up, 80-90%, you pop your ultimate and you pop your Maelstrom, it will do damage to both their soul and their person, so they're taking double damage. So if you're at 100%, one person's taking 260 damage upon impact. So you can melt multiple squishies. There's a lot of times where if you'll hit 2 or 3 of them and you do it, you just wipe out all 3 of them without even a blink of an eye. They can't do anything in this phase. Their body's separated. They're just stuck in limbo for that time. So it's a great opportunity for you to do a team wipe, to take control of a fight. Players are smart. Later in the ranks, people know how to block it. Cap shield, another Strange. People will get out of the area if they see it coming. So you're not going to get a massive team wipe doing this unless you come out of a portal and you pop it before you come out of the portal. So this way they can't see it coming. You can drop from above. You can put it around a corner, and then right before it pops, come out from around the corner. You have to be very unique with how you utilize this. So you can catch a couple of their players off, do the damage, get rid of them, pop them out of place. If you are fighting another Strange, when you are close to them, you're going to want to use your melee attack. Your melee attack will go through their shield. He pulls out a whip. He'll whip and use it. You can do a dagger whip, melee combo to cancel each other out to get maximum damage like we've talked about with other characters. A lot of that melee canceling does provide you a max amount of damage per second. So you're going to want to utilize that. Make sure you keep his shield up. You want to make sure that you can protect your team, especially when ultimates happen. You want to have have that shield available. Even if it's 1 HP, it will block any ultimate that comes in. So make sure you keep your shield healthy. Strange can put out a ton of damage, so you want to help your team. You want to protect your back lines. You want to be able to be there when any kind of flying ult or something happens. Make sure you use your levitation. Watch your cooldowns. Other than that, Strange is an amazing tank. Get used to using him as a Vanguard role, especially if you want to climb in a ladder when no one wants to be Vanguard. He is one of your best options. So play him early, play him often, get used to him. I hope this video helped you. If it did, like, subscribe, turn those notification bells on, and we'll catch you in the next one.